Batten down the hatches, people, duck and cover! We have some Final Fantasy XIV hot takes today. Oh, and they're spicy. One of them was deliberately crafted, or at least it feels like it, to tick me off. Hello everyone, I am Jmulls, and let's dive into the first hot take of the day. We have at MakaMaster who says, hot take, you can never make the audience take a goofy-ass cyber lizard seriously as a villain, even if he's fine story-wise. And like, I don't even know if it's necessarily the problem that I have with Zeralja that he's a lizard. Because Halo exists, right? And the elites in Halo are essentially just cyber lizard people. But they look cool and their facial expressions, at least in the Bungie games, look like they belong in that world. They fit, they can be menacing, and you can take them seriously. But it's just like, it's the face of the lizard people in Final Fantasy XIV, where they just don't look as if they're thinking about anything. There's no thoughts behind those eyeballs, and I just cannot take them seriously across the board. I don't think this was even the biggest issue with Zeralja's character. I think it's like a massive chunk of the pie, don't get me wrong. But I think the dude just needs more time to cook. We needed more time on screen for him to develop him as a character so he wasn't just that one silent guy who could take down a golden llama or alpaca. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we just needed to see more of him. Instead of Kryl going, this dude is evil. It's like, look, I will back up Kryl's play all she needs, right? That's not the issue. It's just when you look that goofy, and you don't give me a reason to view you as threatening, it's not a mixture for success in my opinion. Next up, we have at True Scarlet Witch, who says, hot take, Pictomancer was a mistake and really looks out of place. Look, I know there's a lot of Pictomancer players out there, so like, don't hate me when I say this. There's some part of me that does agree. However, it's not like Pictomancer is a new concept in Final Fantasy. We had that one character from Final Fantasy VI. But also, I think if there's a game that can make a Pictomancer work, I think it is Final Fantasy XIV. Because, one, if I don't like the aesthetic of Pictomancer during main story and stuff like that, I just don't have to play it. And if Kryl uses it, it's like, since she always looked a bit cartoony because of the hoodie thing, it kind of fits her idea and her aesthetic. So while I don't personally vibe with the aesthetic of Pictomancer, I wouldn't want to play during any big cutscene that happens, anything like that. I think Final Fantasy XIV can pull it off because of the job system. And because this game has such a wide range of aesthetics anyways. I prefer, personally at least, the more serious looking jobs, the more high fantasy style jobs, unless they want to give me a Gundam tank or something like that. I prefer jobs with a cooler aesthetic, like Dragoon, pick a tank, any tank, Black Mage, Summoner if it's good, if I have to play ranged physical, Bard, or Machinist, and I just don't play Healer. So when I initially saw Pictomancer, I'm just like, okay, this one isn't for me. Mechanically, though, I've played a little bit of it, haven't even gotten to max level, so I do mean a little bit of it. And it's really fun. I like the overall flow and pace of Pictomancer, but especially with the 7.2 changes, I've just been playing Black Mage more and more. It's more my aesthetic. Let's stay on this theme of jobs right now, and let's move on to the next hot take of the video. We have at Prisma _CLR, who says, I don't know if it's a hot take, but I miss the class quests. I don't like the role quest, don't get me wrong, the Shadowbringers ones were good, but after that, they just bored me and I hate having to do that to dye your class gear. I miss doing a new quest with the characters from your job you've leveled up with until 80. Yeah, I agree, I think the Shadowbringers role quests were the best ones I've done compared to Endwalker, and like, don't get me wrong, the Endwalker ones were pretty good. I haven't even really touched the ones in Dawntrail yet, so I can't speak on them, but I can't say I'm particularly enthused by the premise of them. And while I do think the class and job quests can vary in terms of quality, my favorite ones of the bunch, like Dark Knight, to me at least, beat all of the role quests that I've done. And like, I get the logic they use for moving to role quests instead of job quests. As you add more and more jobs into the game, it just becomes even more work that you have to do. I get that. However, I do think as a natural consequence of that decision, my overall care about role quests go down and down because I have less of an investment in them. It's not like I'm continuing a storyline through one expansion to the next. It's its own little, like, cut-off storyline. I think the ones in Endwalker managed to have some attention and some cool elements, to me at least, because they're wrapping up various storylines that had been developed throughout the game's history, right? With the various nations in Eorzea and elsewhere, right? Like, that was cool. But I have no, like, real incentive to do the ones in Dawntrail, because I have no investment in them. When it came to the Dark Knight ones, or the job quest in general, it was cool to be able to look forward and say, hey, I've made it to a new expansion, let's see how this storyline continues to unravel or unfold, what happens next in it. So it's like, I understand the logic and I get it, right? Sometimes a tough decision has to be made because at some point it would just become wildly unfeasible, especially if this game continues to pump out 2 new jobs each expansion. Or even if it moves to 1, just doing all that work time and time and time again. That is a whole lot of content that most players in the entire game won't even interface with. They won't even do it because there's probably very few people that actually level up every different job in this game. I bet most people only have a couple. So the idea and the prospect of putting so much time and energy into a bunch of content that you have to develop and iterate on and come up with new ideas to continue the storyline for all of these jobs, going from one expansion to the next, and most people won't even play most of that, that's just an inefficient use of resources compared to just say, well, honestly, doing anything else. And I think there are ways to make role quests work. I mean, Shadowbringers is an excellent example of this. And probably the best way to go about doing it is fleshing out the backstory or stories of either various characters or locations in the new expansion. And doing that through the vessel of a role quest, like how Shadowbringers did it. Or like how Endwalker did it with the various nation states. Yeah, it's just one of those situations where in an ideal world, where we could just wish for whatever we want, I would personally prefer class quests every day of the week. It wouldn't even be a discussion for me. I find them more engaging, I find them more enjoyable, I find them more rewarding, and I think about them a hell of a lot more than I do any of the role quests, including Shadowbringers. While there always were some crapper ones, the good ones always outshone them for me. It's just an unfortunate, like, consequence of this game getting older and becoming technically bigger and bigger when it comes to job selection and variety in the game as time goes on. Next, we have at Pim Sutter, who says, my hot take for the developers is to create more options in character creation. Since they did state they won't make new playable races, they can focus on making more options to add our characters a bit. I 1000% entirely agree. I can't speak for anyone else but me, but personally speaking, I kind of wish this game never added Hrothgar in general and just put all that time and attention to detail into expanding character creator options. It's like, I play a Highlander, my guy doesn't even have eyebrows. There's like no beard options in this game, like any ones that are worth a damn. Like, I always found it kind of crazy just how much, including myself, people care about glamour and how your character looks in this game. And then the character creator is just so limited. In certain regards, it's pretty good, but then in others, it's just so limiting. I have yet to this day been able to find a hairstyle that I even like for my Highlander. They either too stylized, too long, and the short hair options in this game, in my opinion, just all look ugly. And I have a test, if you will, like a litmus test, a canary in the coal mine. I judge a character creator on the simple premise: can I make a bald, tall dude with a good beard and make it red? If I can do that, I'm satisfied with that character creator because that's the archetype of character that I like to play in all the games that let me. I can technically do that in Final Fantasy XIV, but the one beard option for each face style, because it's like limited to that for some reason, they all look ugly. And like, I've brought this up before, and I always get like the weirdest reply to this, where like some people try and say, oh, well, it's a Japanese game, and they don't normally like beards or something. It's like some weird retort like that, and I'm always thinking in the back of my mind, I play a lot of games from Japan. Quite a few of them have good beard options. I always just viewed it as an excuse, and one day I do hope they massively expand on the character creator. Like, at least give me beard options, dude, please. Okay, next up is the one that hurts me in my very soul. It's the one that's gonna cast me into eternal damnation. I'm going to have to cut my tongue out and burn it on a giant bonfire to cleanse it of the evil spew I'm about to utter right now. We have at H3LLK4TYEA40 who says, hot take, Hilderbrand needs to retire. Almost wasn't able to hold it in there. Give him one last oorah in the next expansion to be done with it. I enjoy Hildy content, but if it frees up at least 1 month to get the battle gathering MSQ content faster, then so be it. Add side quest within the expansion that's just wacky shenanigans. That's just what Hildibrand is. Okay, let's talk about it. Okay, so first of all, if the reason it takes so long for us to get the battle content online, including stuff like cosmic exploration and field exploration stuff and stuff like that, if if the reason it takes so long is because of Hildibrand, I would massively question the developmental pipeline of this game. Next up, Hilderbrand to me has consistently been one of the best elements of this game. I don't want it to go anywhere. I get some people were forced to do Hilderbrand and Endwalker for the relics. That was a stupid decision back then, to force people to interact with the comedy side quest that is very polarizing, even if they didn't want to because they wanted the cool relic weapons. That was a dumb decision, we can all agree on that. Having said that, the Endwalker Hilderbrand quests are still my favorite in the entire game, and the ones introduced in Dawntrail, even though we only had like 20 minutes of one, is lining up to be also incredible as well. I love Hildibrand. It's consistently one of the things I look forward to the most nowadays when it comes to Final Fantasy XIV. I don't want it to go anywhere. I think it's some of the best execution when it comes to comedy in the entire game. And I think it's important to be able to have content that is an actually good source of comedic relief for the game. And I think Hildibrand fits that like a glove. Also, I love Hildibrand in general. And we also get some weirdly good world building in the Hildibrand questlines. Like, especially back in Stormblood, I cared way more about Kugane because of the Hildibrand questline than I did in the actual main story. If I have to be the guardian on the wall, a silent watcher of the night in defense of my boy, my morning light, my moonlight, my guiding star Hildibrand, then I will. It's as simple as that. If I have to get in the ring and defend Hildibrand against every heavyweight boxing legend of history brought back in their prime with miniguns, I'll come out the other side of that winning. The notion, the idea, the fact I was forced, well, I did pick this one to be fair, the fact that I had to even utter the words Hildibrand needs to retire, I feel like I need to take a cheese grater to my tongue, burn my computer monitor, and offer up my PC as a sacrifice, hoping, beyond hope, that I can find repentance. I can feel bacteria start to grow and envelop my very soul, my way of being, for merely stating such filth. You know what? I'm gonna cleanse myself. Here's my own hot take. They should bring Hildibrand into the main story. I want an entire main story quest that has Hildibrand in it. You know what? Better yet, Dawntrail 7.0 would have been a better experience, a better story, a better overall everything if Hildibrand was a main traveling companion alongside us. And if we replaced Wuklamot for Nashu, Dawntrail would have gone from, well, being Dawntrail to being Peak Trail in that regard. Okay, I feel a little bit better getting that off my chest, but I think I'm gonna go take a cold shower and cleanse myself even further. So I'm gonna call the video there for the day. Thank you all for tuning in. My pleasure for making the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe. And leave a comment down below with your own hot takes about Final Fantasy XIV 7.2, past, present, and future. And I may react to them in a future video. Can you hurt me more than what this take did to me? Let's find out, shall we? Leave a like and subscribe if you liked the video and want to see more content. I know I would appreciate it. Bye bye everybody. Stay safe, have a great day. Until we meet again!